Today we'll have to face Gambit for our second chance of getting to Worlds.
And it's definitely one of the most important matches we've ever played in the season.
The good thing, advantage for us, is we have a lot of experience against Gambit.
I think it's just all about who stays. Like, both teams can win this game.
It's the most important match of the LCS because it decides are we going to Worlds or not.
We need to get up to this match for sure because there is a lot on the line at the moment.
To beat Gambit, we have to play our usual game. Like right now, we're 4-1 against them.
We have to think about our picks and bans very carefully against Gambit. We have to just predict what they're going to probably go for.
The most important thing for us is to play our game and not make such mistakes as we did against Lemon Ducks.
Now we get a second chance. Same happened last year and we actually managed to beat Fnatic to get that third place spot. And now it's up to us to beat Gambit.
And one of the more important things from that video is from both teams saying we just have to play our game, but stats dictate that when they're both playing the game, the EG are better right now in terms of the statistics when we look at head-to-heads.
Yeah, and the thing is, between these two teams, they've played so many games dating back practically years right now. They have a lot of history between them two, and also a large fan base behind them are going to be colliding here today.
Well, let's have a look then at the starting lineups for today. In the blue side, it is, of course, Evil Geniuses with Wicked in the top lane, Snoopy in the jungle, Froggen in the mid lane, Yellow Pete and Crepo, the AD carry and support.
And of course, in the red corner for Gambit, we got Darien in that top lane, Diamond Prox in the jungle, Alex Itch in that middle lane, Genja as AD carry, and Voidal as support.
And that brings us then to our featured matchup for this third place series, the Battle of the AD Carries, with the Evil Geniuses Yellow Pete versus Gambit's Genja.
Yeah, Genja's numbers against NIP weren't okay, or were okay as he went 9-7-15 in 2 games against them. And then Genja, he kind of went 0-3-1 in game 2 against Lemon Dogs yesterday. You don't really want to see your AD carry without any kills, and to be honest, it was the same for Yellow Pete, who was 0-5-8 in his game 2 against Fnatic. Yellow Pete also got shut down in the pre-tiebreaker match between Evil Geniuses and Gambit in that Super Week. But one major thing that separates these two AD carries is the preferred champions. Like Genja, for instance, he has played VAR 16 times with in the summer split, with 7 times on Ashe. Yellow Pete, however, has played Caitlyn 8 times, which he's done phenomenal on, Twitch 6 times, and Vayne 5 times. And one thing is for sure, if these teams want to win and make it to Worlds, their AD carries have to perform.
Yeah, no real doubt about that one. And both have shown in the past that they can step up to that one. So before we get into Champions Select, let's check out what you guys think about this one. Who you think is going to take the third place and make it to Worlds?
Well, according to LOEsports.com, 59% of you think EG are going to win this and earn a berth into the World Championships.
Close, less than 60%. You know, that's not a massively one-sided fan vote here for EG, but it is in their favor nonetheless. And you know, the funny thing about this game is that when we talk about Gambit, often we say Gambit are a team that are rubbish when it comes to playing group stages. But my God, are they good when it really matters and it comes to playoffs. And you know, usually the last day of a tournament for Gambit is where they really, really shine. And if that's the case today, they're in for a treat and possibly a spot at Worlds.
Well, speaking of last day of a tournament, I mean, look at the last week of the season. In that Super Week, they played phenomenally well. They came back from that boot camp in Kiev, and it was like night and day between them and throughout the last 8 weeks and in that week.
Well, let's have a look then at the picks and bans, because we are in Champions Select. First one coming out here will be Zed, aimed thoroughly at Alex Itch. Evelyn also banned here for EG against Diamond. On the other side, Fizz taken away from Froggen, Ari taken away from Froggen. They're aiming the bans straight at Froggen.
I wonder who Gambit's worried about right now with those 2 bans coming in, but I mean, you have to. I mean, we saw Froggen's Fizz. We saw it over the past couple weeks, just outstanding play across the board. As long as he doesn't overcommit in some team fights, he can definitely carry his team. But the Cassin, I mean, you don't want Alex to play that. You don't want to have that roaming capability out of him, and obviously going to take that away.
Could see some really interesting champions in middle here with Fizz, Ari, Twisted Fate, Cassidin, Zed, all banned out of that middle lane. Just shows you how strong the European mid laners are right now, I think, when you look through the statistics from the bans and the picks. That left Zac open though for EG, and that will be locked in first of all. On the other side, currently Thresh and Shen being hovered over. Wouldn't be any kind of surprise if they were actually to be locked in as well.
I'm a little surprised Aatrox wasn't picked up by EG right away. I think Gambit might have baited them into that, so they kind of went around that, going for that Zac, but I mean, that is Wicked, one of his most comfortable champions, going to be playing it probably in that top lane, obviously. And on the other side, Darien, I mean, the first 2 times that we've ever seen him in competitive play not die in a game was on Shen for one of them. That was his first one, and he did amazing on Shen. He has phenomenal stats across the whole season on Shen, and honestly, you have to be a little scared when he's playing that champion.
Shen just Shen as a whole.
all you have to say.
It doesn't really matter who's on Shen. He's always a threat, always an annoyance. You've always got to factor it into your gameplay. Gambit are going to be picking that one up. We can see there Darian with his I am pretty happy right now stretch is what that was. So those two are going to be locked in there.
I think we're getting trolled with those. I was like, I don't remember seeing Teemo and Lex picked up.
Did they change the Teemo last second? No, of course it didn't. But I would like to see a Teemo. However, I don't believe it'll come out in this game. Right now, hovering over Aatrox and Blitzcrank. Obviously, the last time that these two teams met, we did see Froggen playing Blitzcrank, Crepo playing Anivia. That's not going to happen today, though.
Yeah, I mean, when we're doing the lineups, I'm like, potentially Froggen in the mid lane, I was thinking, potentially Crepo as support. But, I mean, yeah, with what's at stake right now, I mean, they had fun in that game. It was like 2, 3 in the morning when they were playing that. You don't want to go for anything like that. You want to play your game like they were saying in the video. They want to play where they're confident. And that Aatrox will get locked in, so it looks like we should have Wicked on Aatrox, as we're talking about a little bit earlier, and Snoopy on Zac.
Yeah.
So we've actually seen Snoopy do really well on Zac. I believe he's 2 for 2 right now on him. And the whole range initiate with that E, you level it up first, elastic slingshot, you can catch them so off guard. It really gives you these very strong ganks. But I think it was Wicked who even said, if I'm playing Zac against a Shen, I'm going to dominate him. So that also kind of makes me worry a little bit. Maybe Snoopy's been playing Aatrox.
Well, Karthus has been locked in here for Gambit on the other side, and we know how dangerous Alex is. We've seen his Karthus, previously we had this legendary game where he farmed so incredibly well. He was up at like 300 CS after 25 minutes or something, and was like, wow. You can't stop a Karthus that gets that far. See how that one works out for them today. Obviously, the Zyra was the other pick here for EG that were pretty much sure we'll go over to Crepo. Of course, it could always change and end up being that Zyra in the middle, but not really something that Froggen usually brings to the table. Gambit here with their 4th pick, taking time, and it is going to be a Virus. Pretty much the comfort champion right now for Genja.
That's what gives Alex the ability to get into the middle of the team fight and stay safe with that chain of corruption, especially with that Shen ultimate coming in, and not to mention the taunt. It's a lot of control, it's a lot of damage. And it's funny that you say, Alex, 300 CS 25 minutes in, he's going up against the only other person to beat him in that was Froggen with 323 minutes. So he's going to have a very tough time in that middle lane, I'm assuming. But what is Froggen going to play here? Because he has the opportunity to counterpick right now.
Yeah, but there's not a lot left on the table, is there? Zed, Kassadin, Fizz, Ari, Twisted Fate, all gone from this one. And Nivea is still open. But statistically, Crepo's better at Anivia than Froggen this season, which might play into things as well. This Caitlyn for Yellow P that he's hovering over right now is pretty much a guarantee. He's been playing so much Caitlyn recently, and it looks like we will see Froggen go towards the Orianna, which for me anyway on the blue side would have been a safe pick with the Ari banned, but obviously against his Karthus, pretty good pick as well.
Not to mention the ball deliver system that we got going on. You have an Aatrox who can potentially do it. You have a Zac who can jump in with it. And if you catch that onto a Karthus, you can kind of hold him back from getting into the middle of your team. But look what we got coming in for Gambit. I'm excited to see this.
That's one thing that they didn't ban out in this one. The Lee Sin, which Diamond, of course, earlier on in his career was so famous for. Such an incredible Lee Sin player. Last couple of weeks, you've seen him bringing that out more and more, even though he still believes that it's not the best champion around, which is a strange thing considering how much he's picking it, and that's going to be his choice for this one as well. So we are going to get to see Diamond on that Lee Sin.
And not to mention how well he's been doing with it, considering he's calling it not as strong as it used to be. But right now, Gambit, they have a very scary lineup. Like, they have a very snowbally composition where if Lee Sin gets an early kill, he's going to get really strong. If Karthus gets a kill, he's going to get very strong, as well as Genja, because he's just so damn good on Varus. I mean, to be honest, that's why he picked it 16 times in the summer split. But then for EG's side, I mean, you have a lot of kind of comfort champions. With Wicked on Aatrox, he's going to be happy in that top lane. You got Yellow Pete, more importantly, on Caitlyn, like you were saying before. He's done so well with Caitlyn the last couple of weeks, and he's really starting to shine through for his team, which he hasn't really done throughout the summer split. And giving him something like that pretty much guarantees they're going to have a strong lane.
Yeah, it's almost like they've rewired Yellow Pete, He's gone from this passive, almost sluggish farmer that, never really caught anyone's eye in games, or except if he did something bad, of course. But he's turned into this guy who's not afraid to 90 caliber net during team fights into the rest of into the enemy team to actually be picking up kills. Like, he's really changed up his gameplay, and you could say the same a little bit over for Genja as well, because he's also, or he was also, that passive almost not in the game guy. You certainly didn't really notice him a lot of the time, and he'd just kind of sneak off, farm a lane for a little while, and before you knew it, he'd come back into lane. You're like, where did he get that 250 CS from? Where did he get that lead bite that he'd already lost in the lane? And both of them can do that kind of thing, but they've both shown that they can turn it aggressive when they need to. So we're going to get into game here then. It is match number 1 between EG and Gambit. Let's not forget here, guys, we're playing for our final spot for Europe for the World Championships.
And Joe, if I were to say in the beginning of the spring split that EG or Gambit would not be in the World Finals, would you have believed me? Because honestly, I would have even believed myself.
If you'd have said that Lemon Dogs were definitely going to be there, and either EG or Gambit weren't going to make it, I probably would have laughed in your face and give you a slap. But we've been proven completely wrong by this one, and Lemon Dogs yesterday looked like the top place team. You know, they pretty much destroyed Gambit. Like, they didn't really have too many problems with them. So incredible to see such new talent coming through. I mean, they're a very young team. Like, they are very, very young guys. So much talent coming through. EG and Gambit, more of the old guard, so to speak, of the European LCS, and well, one of them is not going to be making it this year.
Considering they were 3rd and 4th place last season, it's just ridiculous to kind of even think about that. But I mean, we are in a game and we do have pretty much nothing happening at level 1. Both teams just playing very passive. They don't want to get caught early on and kind of lose that first game that can kind of shut down your momentum. And LP is currently sitting on a ward. So right now, Gambit, they know where EG's bottom lane is going to be, and they have the opportunity to lane swap if they want to, and it looks like they will go for that. They will send Genja and Voidal top lane against Wicked.
Yep, against that Aatrox, which honestly, Aatrox has been getting more and more, not only popular, but more successful in the actual games that we've seen him as well. I mean, at the very start, we saw Darian running him in the top lane. We saw him coming up in the jungle a couple of times, but wasn't all that impressive. But if you look to the likes of Cyanide yesterday, who pretty much went unmentioned, by the way, through the plays that he made, this Aatrox has become incredibly valuable to all these teams. Right now, Gambit aren't going in towards that blue buff. Going to be smited away there by Diamond, so that's an early start for them. EG on the other side are doing the same.
They have to do this. Like, the thing is, Snoopy's at his own red buff, and they're going to be taking away the blue from Gambit. If they didn't do this, Gambit would have a strong 3 buff start right off the bat, and luckily for them, they do take that away. But now Snoopy, he's going to be a little bit behind in levels, but then again, so will Diamond. However, in terms of effectiveness in the early game, I would say Diamond on that Lee Sin would definitely do a lot more. And yeah, I mean, the Aatrox, it's kind of taken a while to get going. It's taken a while for people to finally figure out exactly how you play him. But we did see Wicked yesterday against Soa. It's just 1v1 him around level 3, picking up that first kill, where Kennen should have an easier time.
Yeah, and that was incredible to watch as well. And the fact that XPK after that said that shouldn't really happen. Yeah. That really slowed our game down, put us in some real danger. But so as they come back to obviously start winning out that lane with the Kennen as things went on. But in this one right now, a pretty defensive start. Obviously that blue buff trade-off that we saw in the early stages, kind of standard these days, honestly. Like, if someone goes to blue, you've got to counter it. Otherwise, you're going to be 1 buff behind at the start, and that is a horrible position to be in.
And what's kind of weird about this one was it went over to Yellow Pete because Snoopy was at his own red, so he was able to get blue. He's able to shut the lane a lot quicker, and from that, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to take a very early turret and then try to kind of swap the lanes around and give Wicked an easier time, because right now, it's currently 2 to 4 in CS. Yeah, it's not that much right now, but it's going to kind of have an impact as the game goes on.
So Snoopy coming up to defend this top lane turret, as we see Gambit already putting pressure down on towards this mid lane. Diamond just hanging around there. He's going to be stealing away that Wraith camp. Interesting to see how Alex really does on this card. So we said it before, farming machine. On the other side, you've got Froggen, who himself is a bit of a farming machine as well. Going to be interesting to watch how these 2 players develop throughout the course of the game.
You're going to already see the pressure that's kind of happened on a Froggen, as we do see Snoopy going in for a gank out of Voidal.
Yeah, they had a ward down there, but they're not going to be quick enough to react to that one. He's down below half health right now. Voidal's going down from this. Snoopy going to pick up first blood. Brilliantly done. And there we see the danger of that Zac jungle. There's Yellow Pete down at bottom. We saw Diamond coming as well for a bit of a try, but I think they were quite safe with that one, with Crepo down at the bottom throwing CC out. But as I said, Zac jungle, they got a ward down in the top of the river. We saw Voidal just kind of sitting there in the bush. It's like, I'm totally safe right now. No one's anywhere near me. And then you've got the Zac jumping straight over the wall.
And with Shaka coming to the team, you just see the difference in Snoopy. He's so aggressive now. His ganks, I mean, over the past 4 or 5 games have really worked out in the early game, and he's doing a fantastic job, not to mention gets that early assist over to Wicked, gets that pressure in that lane. For Wicked now, I think he might have the possibility of 1v2 in here and actually picking up a kill. Fantastic job by Snoopy.
Brilliant stuff, and that's actually going to give him a pink ward here early on. We see that Wicked has picked up a Doran's Blade with the boots in there. He obviously did start with that elixir as well, so you just see what he gains from that with just 20 CS on the board.
Yeah, and that pink one, I'm thinking about where that's going to go. Maybe he wants to put it in that top lane and gank it over and over, get that Aatrox fed, get him going early on so you get that early Blade of the Rune King. And you typically don't see junglers pick up a pink like that unless they're going to go for an objective like Dragon or maybe go for an invade onto a buff, but...
Or even on the other side, you know, they've got the kill, or the assist at least onto Wicked right now in that 2v1 lane. Why not shut down the Shen as well? Why not throw that pink ward into the enemy, try bush and go for that 3-man dive, which you've been seeing become a little less common at the end of the day, and a Shen underneath the turret, as we've seen many times before, is a dangerous thing.
Yeah, we do remember, we're on 3.10, so the turrets have a lot more armor that fades off as the game goes on, and even Kobe, I believe that was saying it over in day 1 of Gamescom, that even though with those changes, the games last like 30 seconds longer max. That's really about it, or on average, I guess I'll say. And right now, I actually do see a very early Dragon coming out of Gambit here. Wow, I mean, considering they just got ganked and considering it's so early in the game, they're going to be going for it here. They're going to get it, and will we see lane swaps come in after this?
Yeah, and Gambit really having no problems with going about that one as well. They're like, well, they're not going to be challenging for that right now, so let's just take it. Let's go in there, let's take it. We've got enough power to do that at this stage. They do that nicely. Right now, the Wicked is hammering away on this top lane turret. May actually be able to take this one away with another wave actually coming in behind him. Means he's not going to have to back up so that he doesn't actually tank that one up. And it's very possible that this is going down.
Wow, so they're going to trade a turret for a Dragon, and now with this, you see the potential to have Wicked have a free lane to farm if he wants to, but then Gambit can do something they've done so well throughout this last week, is that denying farm, freezing lanes can really hurt the opponent, and EG, they have to be careful. If they let that happen, then they need to group up, force some fights, force some objectives, because then Gambit has to respond. They can't freeze the lane.
Well, it looks like we might end up seeing this 2v2 come down to the bottom lane. Shen just going home. Actually, I tell a lie, Darren is coming back down onto that bottom side of the map, so he's going to try and keep up the farm that he's got, and he's doing a decent job considering that Wicked has really had a lot more free time up there. The CS lead is not actually that big at this point.
Yeah, and luckily he does, well, I'd say luckily he is ahead of Darren though, because we've seen how impactful Darren Shen can really be. And the top lane right now for Gambit, they were trying to freeze the lane here, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Wicked, Snoopy go group up into this middle lane, maybe go for a kill on Alex, maybe go for that turret. But we have to keep in mind, Alex is level 7, Darren is level 6, so that global presence out of Gambit is there right now.
Let's see if that comes into play here in the coming moments, and could be very dangerous for EG. You've always got to, every single plan that you make in terms of, okay, it's going to be 3v1 if Snoopy comes down to this bottom lane, you've always got to factor that Shen into every single equation when that ultimate is available. So, see how that one goes. Wicked at this point, not really too scared, but that's off to Darien in this 2v1 situation with a lot more pressure on him. Is keeping up very well.
He's been doing a great job, and if he goes for that Sunfire Cape as his first spy, he's going to be really strong. Snoopy finally did commit that pink ward over at Dragon, and he is kind of setting up towards this bottom lane. Maybe they want to go for the dive, but I think they just want to push that turret down, if anything. However, he just kind of goes back to his own jungle, and this is like the first time we're going to see him go, or the first time he's going to go back to his red, and all those buffs will be taken around the entire Kex.
So, let's have a look at the CS elsewhere. Carthus, Alex Hitch, 81 to Froggen, 68 right now. Got himself that tier already stacking up nicely with the Health Crystal and a Doran's Ring. Other side, Chalice already done here for Froggen.
And I was thinking back to EG's game yesterday where Yellow Pete, if he got ahead in CS, he would really stay ahead and really be impactful. Right now, he kind of has a lead over his his opponent. He hasn't really been able to build up any items just yet. And Diamond, who on this Lee Sin hasn't really been impactful in this game as he's trying to make these ganks work, but EG, they're just warding up so well to stop this.
And that's the thing with that Lee Sin as well. If you don't have an early game impact, then you're probably going to struggle throughout the rest of the game to actually get things going on that front. Gone with those boosts of mobility, which I think, because of how unsuccessful he's technically been in terms of getting into those lanes, those boosts of mobility are really important for him right now to allow him, more speed around the map to get in there and try for that impact that he's longing for.
And you also don't see the double Doran's Blade that he typically builds to get that extra damage early on if he does get a kill or an assist. And he's being forced to go pretty much right to that straight tank, but it looks like EG are going to pick up their second turn of the game here. If a decent gold lead right now, and Dragon will be coming up in the next couple of minutes, so if they can contest that, take that off the back of this, they're going to have a very healthy lead.
Well, that gold lead would look a lot different if Gambit hadn't taken away that first Dragon. As you see Wicked diving in there on towards Diamond, you can see that half of his health gone from that. And honestly, what are they going to do here in this middle lane? We can see that Snoopy is waiting off to the side there as that Zac, and they may just decide to jump in here. There is a shockwave on Twilight Six. They go into him. Shen gonna try and come down, but it's gonna be too late. Snoopy picks up that kill, and what a dive there from EG. And that's the kind of team that they've got right now. And almost, okay, they're just kind of going for the turret, and then all of a sudden, bam, they're on top of you.
This is what we talked about before the game even started, that 3-man hit squad with Wicked, Snoopy, and Froggen, and they're pulling off the kills. They're shutting down Alex, even though he's ahead in CS. They have that middle turret already very low right now, and then the damage they have coming out was enough to kill Alex before Darren could even get into that fight. So EG off to a fantastic start right now, and they're going to commit. They're going to get this turret.
Yep, and that, of course, leaves No Stand United up for quite a while now, and a possible danger here for Gambit, as EG are going to take turret number 3. All outer turrets now down for them. Let's see what they do off this one. It becomes now a lot easier to control the vision of the map, to really have full vision of where Gambit are going. And you'd think then, after that, the Dragon, which is now coming up in less than a minute's time.
Yeah, and funny enough, in their 8 matches in the regular season, EG took the first turret 6 times, so it kind of shows they're very aggressive. They want to go for kills early on and push those turrets down. And
it sounds so wrong when you say that. It shows that EG are a very aggressive team.
I know, right? But
which is not really the EG that we used to seeing, but they've shown us already towards the end of this the summer split and now into the playoffs that they're quite willing to change up their style. Obviously, bringing N-Rated here as the analysis has just worked out for them so well. They seem to have been able to change successfully as to what they're going to do, with a good mix of the old as well in there.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard from a lot of teams that did have roster changes, roster swaps throughout the season, is that one thing a new person brings into the team is like a new energy. They're working really hard, as we do see actually a gank on a Genja here. I'm not sure if he's going to live.
I don't believe he will live from this one. He's going to get knocked up here by the Stranglethorns. Yellow P going to take that one out, and just caught completely out of position there. No wards right now. Yeah, no wards on that side. The Dragon is available. EG don't really have a timing on that one. That's the problem. Gambit almost snuck that one away earlier.
Yeah, and Snoopy, luckily, he did clear the vision, so they know it's up. They're already starting to collapse on this, but Gambit, I was thinking maybe they want to rush it down as quick as possible. As Froggen's going to be coming in from the back, but Genja down another 3 seconds. No ultimate up for him, which is so key in how the lineup of Gambit's really going to work. Not to mention that Stand United is still down, but that Sunfire Cape is almost done.
So here come the EG walking in there. Varus respawning, so Genja's going to be able to get into this fight here shortly. And Gambit, they need to basically hold off until Genja actually comes near this one.
They can push middle. They can force Gambit into a choke point if they want with their ultimates that they have. The ultimate coming out of Oriana can lock them up, and you already see the damage that Froggen is doing to Diamond here. So really, EG, they don't need to force a Dragon. They can force Gambit to go there, and then just capitalize on it by taking that second middle turret.
Well, Gambit are still holding strong here. They still want to put up a fight for this one. We can see there the Genja build coming out for him once again. Triple Doran's Blade plus that Berserker Greaves. And on the other side, Pete almost got his Bloodthirst to finish.
Yeah, the thing about Genja is he's always been an innovator. Remember, he was one of the first AD carries to ever build Ninja Tabai on an AD carry. But with this Triple Doran's Blade, I don't know if it's really going to get caught on by anyone else. It's kind of one of the things we asked his manager, why does he do that? And his manager's like, I don't know. I really don't know. But we do see Froggen getting caught here with the Thresh Hook. But Gambit, they're really hesitant to go for engage because Genja is in this top lane.
And this is typical Genja, you know. I'm off farming my lane. I'm trying to be quiet about things and go in there, as we are going to see Voidal taking a lot of damage. The dive comes in from EG, and he is a dead man. Nothing they could do to stop that one. Let's bounce from Snoopy will pretty much force everyone away, and Genji just going to keep pushing there on that top side. Maybe able to get a good amount of damage down onto that top turret, but they are losing Dragon here, and Gambit can't afford to be losing objectives right now.
And what a flash grasping roots out of Crepo to start that fight off to get the kill on the Voidal. If Genji can get this turret, it'll help them out quite a bit, but that turret, it's so healthy. Even though Wicked was in that 1v2 lane, he was able to defend it, and now he's going to be able to respond, so they just picked up a huge amount of gold, now up 4.3 thousand gold 15 minutes in practically, and they're starting to get to that point where they're a major item completed for each person on the team, and when that happens, they can keep moving up, they can keep forcing these fights that Gambit has to react to.
And Diamond has really struggled this game as well, and it's not the first time in these last couple of weeks that he's struggled for that one. It's not. It's a mixed performance, and I don't want to take away from him saying he's struggled in every single game, because we've also seen brilliance from Diamond, but I'd say specifically this weekend here at Gamescom, we've not quite seen the performance from Diamond that Gambit have always relied on.
Yeah, I think that's just due to teams, I guess, figuring out his style a little more and also playing a lot safer early on. Like, getting a lot of wards down, he can't become effective because that's where he used to shine. Pick up some early kills, going for that counter jungling to really control the enemy jungler, control the enemy team, and what EG's been doing with the kind of the aggression they've been putting out, funny enough, they've been able to stop that, and they've been able to pick up a very strong lead, though. Diamond, it's a very smart guy. I mean, they did take that first dragon after realizing they lost that first one in the top lane, so he knew how to kind of get them back in the game, but right now, down a lot of gold, and I really wonder, is it going to keep going for EG? Are they going to keep continuing growing this lead they've been able to build up 16 minutes in?
Well, I'm more interested in what their overall plan is for this one, because EG are a team that will keep this whole slow, steady gold earning kind of game going on. You know, they're quite happy to earn a 200-300 gold lead every few minutes, instead of, you know, saying, okay, now we've got a few thousand gold, let's fight and make that gold lead so massive that they've got no chance of coming back. So interested to see what style they really go for this one. We can actually see there that water going down on the side.
It's not the bush.
No, not quite. And EG here are going to be pushing then on towards this bottom inner turret. There is the top coming down on towards Wicked, but we are going to see Snoopy there. There's a shockwave in the back as well. Diamond going so low from this one. He will fall. It's a double kill for Froggen. Snoopy picked one up as well in that one, and now Alex in trouble. He's going to get rooted up. Going to be flashing in for it, but he's a dead man from that. We will be seeing that come through as Wicked going to life steal his way to enough help from the Wolves to actually survive through that one. I guess I just answered my own question when I said, what are EG going to really be doing with this goal lead that they've got? No problem to go there on the turret, and there we see the statistics from Zach, and here is another replay of that fight.
And look what they did. They just stacked everything on Genji, blew him up instantly, then Diamond's forced to flash away, leaving Darian left all alone to himself, and exactly what you said. We're used to EG, we're used to see them have this lead and then just slowly increase it over time, but look how they've changed that up. Look how they've just been so aggressive with this lead. Even Alex going into the backline, getting exhausted perfectly, and look at Wicked. That was an amazing decision. That was quick reaction out of him just to heal up as much as possible. And even after that Karthus ultimate though, 3 members of EG were down to about 100 life apiece. That still shows that Alex, even though he's 0-2 now, he's been farming up really well. He still does a lot of damage, and EG has to respect that.
Yeah, but the way that they controlled him from now, and if it weren't for the flash from Alex, wouldn't have got anywhere near as much damage out there as well, I think, at the end. And right now, EG yet to give up a single kill at this point of the game. And look at that kill spread as well. 3 for Snoopy in the jungle as Zach. He's just going to become ridiculously tanky at this point. 2 kills for 4 assists for Froggen, 2 for 4 for Yellow Pete as well. And EG,
they're all stacked up towards the top side.
These towers, they're all there.
They could go for a dive here if they want to, or just to zone Diamond off completely, in which that is exactly what they do. And they're picking up another turn of the game, 5-0 for EG, and this is just so different to see out of them, but it's so refreshing to see.
Darian trying to get that split push action going, and I'm sure that EG obviously need to react to that at some point in this one, but honestly, the way that they're pushing these inner turrets and Darian's kind of having to go on the outer turrets, yeah, they don't want to be losing turrets right now. This will actually be Gambit's first turret of the entire game at this point. Like, EG still have not so much to be worried about. The way that this one is going, they're in full control right now. They're dictating the pace of things.
And Wicked, he is the man to go down there to actually fend him off. He's going to do good damage to him.
He'll hammer Darian. He'll kill him easy.
Oh, he's flashing to me, but they want him.
What are you going to do? Are you going to try and stand United out? No, because that's going to get interrupted. Froggen coming in from the side. He'll secure that one right in front of Wicked, who's like, oh my god, Froggen. Seriously? I just put in all that hard work. But it's secure nonetheless, and Darian trying his best to get that one going, but you have to stay alive as well. You have to be able to get away after taking down the turret.
And we were wondering what would EG do in response, and it's a pretty simple answer, just kill him, and then go for a push here. And I think Baron even could become a likely possibility with the team they have, with Snoopy being so far ahead. He's going to be so tanky when he finishes that Randuin's Omen, and right now EG, with all this aggression they've been able to put on, Gambit just seems to be caught off guard. I don't think they were really expecting this kind of EG to come out here.
Yeah, I think they're going to force this Baron at some point in the near future, but I have to say as well, this weekend at Gamescom has been a bad time for teams taking Baron. We've seen a lot of steals, we've seen a lot of mistakes around that Baron itself, and do EG really need to do that right now? Look at the gold lead that they've got, look at the kill lead, look at the turret lead. Just everything right now is picture perfect for EG. Why spoil it at that Baron?
Exactly. I mean, Froggen, he's going to have his death cap done soon. You have the tankiness on Snoopy to dive in. You have that passive off of Wicked to be revived, not to mention Snoopy's as well. Like, they have a good team to dive into the backlines of Gambit, even on a turret. And if you follow up with that whole ball delivery system thing, Genja, he's going to get blown up, but I guess they don't even need to worry about him. It's just kill Alex, and then they're fine. They can just win the game because that Randuin's Omen is just going to shut Genja down.
And the thing about Wicked right now as well, that he's almost a perfect counter to Darian. Yeah, of course he doesn't have teleport, but Darian's not going to be able to stand United into a fight. Even if it comes then down to a 4 versus 4, EG is still going to have the edge on that one. Without that control of Shen, it's very, very hard for Gambit, even in that 4 versus 4. EG going for another Dragon.
I'm actually thinking to myself is that I think EG can go for a 5-on-5 fight here, as we do see Wicked going in, but I don't think he's... Actually, no, they're going to be able to catch him because Treble is coming around for blue.
Yeah, they're going for it again, and what's Darian going to do again? Like I said, the Blade of the Ruined King coming out there for Wicked, slows him completely down. Yellow Pete picks that one up as well, and Wicked's like, seriously, that's 2 times now, guys. Let me have a kill on this, man. Alex Hitch has pushed down the second turret of the game, but I hate to say it, this is very reminiscent, if I can get my words out, reminiscent, there we go, of a lot of games that we see Darian. It's almost, I've given up Darian right now. Like, getting caught out, not really seeming to care too much, honestly. It's like, well, I'm pushing the lane, if I get caught out, I get caught out.
It's kind of
very
tricky.
Similar to those big losses earlier.
It's kind of tricky though, because he's playing Shen, so it's like that is his job to do, but he cannot afford to keep getting caught. Maybe he needs to buy up a couple of wards here or there just to get that vision so he can be able to get out in time. But right now, EG 10-0, 22 minutes in. A fantastic, flawless game for them so far, and Diamond, he's trying to make something happen. Like, you see him, he's trying to make these plays, but without his team behind him, they can't really do anything.
Diamond has been a non-factor in this game. Like, he has not really been involved in this game whatsoever. We saw him going with some ability as early as he could to, you know, have more attempts almost. Not going damage the way that we usually see him. Things start to go off so that those kills are almost more safe. We saw him going with some ability, so he makes the attempts more frequent in the hope of actually getting something going from that one. And right now we're going to see Wicked going in towards Darian down in his bottom lane. Darian actually turning quite a lot of damage back around onto Wicked here, but he's Aatrox, he can just fly steal it all back.
Yeah, I don't think Wicked's going to care too much by that, but the thing is, they're stopping Darian's push consistently. Froggen's coming down, but I don't think they're able to pick him up here. And now EG, I mean, there's one thing I'm worried about, is that we see them play a lot of games. Take a second on that Diamond. He's waiting on the side. Yellow Pete, don't show yourself. We're going to get picked off here. And he might be in a very bad place. Yeah, Diamond's going to come around. This could be the first kill for Gambit.
Yeah, that ace in the hole coming through. And Yellow Pete now going to be caught out completely. We see him kicked in there through that wall of pain. And, well, he's going to be a dead man. There is Diamond to actually pick up the first kill of this entire game for Gambit. Well, it's taken him 23.5 minutes in there, but finally gets a kill, finally gets some impact on the game, however too late that may be.
And EG, they're looking for a push on this middle turret here, and with Alex still pushing that top lane, he does have his ultimate obviously, but they're not going to go in for a fight here. EG, they were waiting anyway. Snoopy was on the side, and one thing I was saying that I was worried about is that EG, like the old style of them, when they win games, it's kind of like textbook. It's take an inhibitor turret, take an inhibitor, get all 3 down before we finish. And if they do that against a Karthus, if they keep letting them farm, if they do that against a Darian or a Shen and a Varus, they could be hurting themselves. But right now, they haven't really been making that happen. They've actually been being very aggressive and really trying to force these objectives down.
So let's have a look down some of the items here. Not done that for a little while. Spirit Visage now in there for Wicked on that Aatrox, and added that into that Blade of the Ruined King. Froggen on the other side. Let's look at him. Second needs the large rod coming in after picking up that Rabadon's Death Cap and the Athene's Unholy Grail. And you just know that these shockwaves, when they do come in, when we actually see some kind of team fight, which has actually been avoided by Gambit for quite a while by now, because they know that there's probably not much chance until they get the likes of Alex really fed up and get some itemization going on for him. I'm interested to see how the shockwaves go, because the shockwaves haven't been brilliant for Wicked this weekend when we've seen him on Orianna.
Yeah, and
for Froggen, sorry.
Yeah, I knew what you meant. We all knew what you meant.
Obviously, they're not being great for Wicked because he's not played Orianna.
But I do like actually the whole Large Rod coming out of Froggen, because it means to me he's going to go with Zhonya's. And why I really like that is the fact that he can Zhonya's the Karthus ultimate and uses Command Protect on Yellow Pete, who doesn't have to build Magic Resist right now. He doesn't have to do that to kind of counter it with the Protect always going to be on him. He's going for an Infinity Edge right now, and right with Gambit out of position, EG are just going to rush down middle lane.
This is a total positional play here from EG. We see that Gambit, or EG knew that Gambit were on the top side of River, and they said, well, we've got you here, we've got your positioning, and we are going to be going in on towards this inhibitor. We are going to see Lee Sin coming around the back. They've got in for Yellow Pete, but in the end, he's going to be able to get away. They turn the damage around there on towards Diamond, and he is already down below half HP. Wicked doing so much work there at the back. Alex Hitch is going to go down. Requiem's going to come in, but it's going to do not too much here. Wicked actually going very low. Does get his passive pop there at the end with a nice snipe down from Genja, but as the ace in the hole comes through, Voidal nicely blocking that one. Doesn't matter. They're going to be able to take this inhibitor turret and back off.
That's a great job of them just to react to where Gambit was, to push that turret down, and really have to give Diamond a lot of credit. He got in the back, he kicked Yellow Pete into the middle of Gambit's team. Fortunately, I guess he didn't counter in the flash and the 90 cover net to get away. As we're going to see this replay one more time, you're going to see him. He's going to come in onto Crepo and just walk over with the Ward Trap to kick him in, but it just, unfortunately, wasn't enough. Yellow Pete was able to dodge that Chain of Corruption. Darren wasn't able to taunt him and lock him down, and he's just left on that side to do a lot of damage. And look where this Shockwave comes down. It actually keeps Genja out of the fight for quite a while, which mitigates so much damage. And then Crepo getting the exhaust onto Alex, kiting him away with that. EG mitigated a lot more damage on top of that. So the thing is, you see Gambit engage into the backline, or try to get to the backline of EG, but they just kite you long enough before they can kill you.
So let's have a look down the items once again, because we only got so far through that. And on the AD carry, so 3-1-6 for Yellow Pete, only that single death for his team right now, obviously when he got caught out on that top side of the map. Got a Bloodthirster, got the Last Wisp, but now you see his Caitlyn statistics as well, which are very, very positive for him in the playoffs. But also, if the statistics also to include the last 2 weeks, let's say, or specifically Super Week, if we're honest, would be even more impressive. This Caitlyn has really brought out the best in Yellow Pete recently.
Yeah, I totally agree. It seems like he's taken this entire summer split to find that one AD carry that he really excelled on. And it looks like he's finally able to find it. And you know, in our featured matchup between Yellow Pete and Genja, we talked about the AD carries. They have to step up for their team. They have to be able to make the big plays if that team wants to be able to win and get into Worlds. And so far, Yellow Pete, he's been able to do that. He's been roaming with his team. But Genja, he's kind of done the opposite. He's been away from his team like the old Genja we used to know. He's been caught out multiple times and has those 2 deaths.
Yeah, 2 deaths to his name. Darren is still trying to get that split push action going down. I think that's some Flycake finished off early on. Got home guard groups in there as well. There's another Dragon goes over towards EG, and that maintains a 10,000 gold lead here for EG.
Wow, Froggen, he's not scared at all. He's just chasing him down. He got him down below half health already. That is just crazy.
Yeah, scared of what? There's nothing to be scared of in that situation. He's got so much more power than Diamond could even dream of having against him right now. He did not have that early game start that he wanted. Froggen up at 305 at this point, approaching that 300 CS mark. We are going to be seeing the first inhibitor of the game go down here. Gambit actually grouping up to try and stop this one from happening, and they seem to have scared them a little bit, as we do see the hook onto Snoopy. He is by far and away the tankiest member right now, and the team is Diamond coming around the back. Yellow Pete being focused down. There is a shockwave though into the world's backline. Alex Alex Hitch going to go very, very low. Sanya Knights have been used, and Darien actually doesn't get over there, and Alex Hitch is going to die anyway. He's currently a 1-for-1, but EG not done.
Oh no, Alex actually channels ultimate before he even died, so now he doesn't even get it off, and that is a danger of Elise Sin if you kick Yellow Pete into another team. If you have that taunt land, Gambit can win the fights, and I'm not 100% sure, as we're going to see in this replay, but watch Yellow Pete is, as we get later on, I think if he auto-attacked, instead of using his Piltover Peacemaker, he actually would have been able to lifesteal through the Ignite. But as you do see, kicks kicked in, you see Crepo standing in the middle, zones him off with that funnel that Gambit has to walk through, and there it is, the ultimate point of Alex gets killed because he thought he was already dead. Unfortunately, he just ends up dying. That would have been a lot of extra damage, but honestly, I don't think it really would have changed the fight around either way.
Well, that leaves us at 13-3. Still a 10,000 gold lead here for Evil Genius. So 7-2 in turrets. And yeah, they've died a couple of times in that one, but still it's going to plan. Like, the good thing for EG is that if they make these mistakes, they've still got time to rectify them. Like, they're not at a point where, probably even if they get aced, they're still going to be ahead anyway in the game. But obviously that can change very, very quickly. It's not something that EG will certainly rest on in terms of that one. From Gambit's side of things, they need to make plays like that happen.
And the thing is, look at where we've been fighting this entire time. It's always been on Gambit's side of the map. So if Gambit does win a team fight, they're not able to push any turrets down. They're not able to get any objectives off of that. So EG, they're going to be starting up Baron here. We have Darren actually down over towards the bottom side of the map. He doesn't have his ultimate available, but Alex, he's coming from the side and he has to be very careful.
Yeah, and they're actually going to go off towards Alex here. Acing, they're all going to come through. He's down to half HP. There's a shockwave coming out. Let's bounce as well. Diamond is going to go down. Alex already dead. Voidal having to try and flash away, but Froggen will flash over after him. Double kill picked up by him. Can they keep going? Snoopy is chasing through. He has to back away. His cell division was used up in that last fight, and that will be a 3-for-0 here for EG. They could go Baron, they could push now. They've got a lot of options with super minions raining into Gambit's base.
They did commit a lot of ultimates into that fight though. They have to be very careful here. And with the super minions pushing, just like you said, they only have to bait them in. They don't really need to take this right now. But then again, there is no fight for Gambit. This should be a free take. And that was just a fantastic job by EG just to realize why potentially throw it at Baron. Just take it safely. When Gambit comes in, turn around, fight him right away. They had great ward control to see where Alex was, and they come out with that Baron.
So far, the plan that EG have obviously brought into this game is working out so well for them right now. Mikhail's Crucible coming in there as well for Crepo, an item which we've seen him going for more and more as things have gone on. Specifically this weekend, he's really been going for that a lot. Which is, you know, we don't talk about that item really probably as much as we should do because it is a massive thing.
Yeah, I mean, look at that last fight that we saw EG pretty much lose 2 members. There was Yellow Pete going down. If he didn't get taunted, he would have lived. So you pop the Mikhail's Crucible on him, get him out of that taunt, give him that little bit of an extra heal, and then you, like, who is Gambit going to really lock down? And, you know, Cripple, he always said that's a perfect item on Sona, but he's been picking up on Zyra quite a bit. He picked up yesterday. I think he's picked up every game over these past 2 days now. And that item, if you hit the right person at the right time, if you're in the back of your team and you're not engaged on, then you can really turn fights around.
So let's see how things move forward. Up to now, Froggen's Orianna has been very impressive. The shockwaves always landing for him. He's currently 6-0-7. But look at Snoopy, 5-0-8 on this stack. And we'll see if bans next time around to change. Even if Gambit were to, you know, stage a massive comeback and win this one, they probably think about changing their bans for this next game around because of how things have gone this time.
Yeah, we've had a Twitter question a couple of weeks ago. It was, what was the most improved player throughout the summer split of LCS? And I think Snoopy is definitely a candidate for it over these past 2 weeks. He's really stepped up for his team. And just like you said, 5-0-8 right now, his engages have been spot on. His aggression and knowing the limits of his champion backing away when he needs to has just been perfect. And right now, with these super minions pushing middle, EG's not in a hurry to take this turret down. However, they have Caitlyn. They have that ability to siege this turret down very easily. As long as they keep Alex and keep Diamond away from their team, they're going to look very solid to take this inhibitor down.
Well, you say that Snoopy's a candidate for that award of most improved player of the season. I'm just going to go out there and say he's not a candidate at all. He's actually is that person. Like, I don't see anyone in the league that's shown such a stark contrast from almost a point, which was the Shaka joining into the team. Right now, EG actually going to dive into this one. Snoopy coming in the back. Voidal going low. There is Darian, pulled in by the shockwave. He's not going to be able to live through this, or is he? He gets exhausted in there. They dealt with Alex Hitch off towards the backside. Requiem going to come down. Pete picking up a double kill. Snoopy actually going very, very deep from this one. The turret hit there is going to be popping his passive off from this one. And, actually, he doesn't have his passive available. I'm just lying as I go along. Froggen going to come in there as well. Takes down Voidal in the end. And look at those death timers now with the Shen and the Varus up. They may be able to finish here, EG.
I don't think they should. I think they should back away, take that inhibitor turret, take the inhibitor, because with Genja up, with the poke he has, with the damage he has off the Infinity Edge and that Bloodthirster, they really need to respect it. And there's no point in potentially throwing a game where you already have this giant of a lead.
Or they could just take both inhibitors and then finish off the game. We'll see how that one goes. Genja is still there. You'll see the damage coming out there from Froggen. He's going to be forced back here shortly. But this Nexus 3 actually going down, and with those super minions there to tank things up, EG seem to be happy with what they've achieved from that push. Bottom and middle inhibitors down again, and those super minions coming through. One Nexus 3 taken, kills coming their way. No point in making risky plays, and if there's one team in the world that you bet will never make a risky play, it's probably EG.
Yeah, that's definitely right. And over the past, it seems like 15 minutes, EG's been doing this push, get a couple kills, get an objective, back away, buy up, do the same thing again, and just kind of over and over. And right now, with those two inhibitors down, with that one Nexus turret down, Gambit cannot leave their base. I mean, they can push the waves out, that's about it. And with Baron coming up, about 2 minutes, that means that EG can just bait them out if they want to go for it, or just take it for free and go in for that final push for the win.
Really hard pressed to call out one person on EG right now as almost man of the match, so to speak. Obviously this game is not won right now, but chances of coming back from those inhibitors down are very, very slim. We say two ninjas in pajamas.
Yeah.
But slim doesn't mean impossible, and they managed to do that, so good job by them. But usually it doesn't happen that way. Come on, it usually doesn't happen that way.
Just by the numbers. The first one going down, the teams that take it down win 93.75% of the game. So that kind of shows you with two, it increases even more. And right now, EG, they're not even going to wait for Baron. They're just going to go for a push on this top turret. They're going to let the Super Minions push in, and Gambit either have to go for a fight here, or they have to give this one up, and they have to go for the former of those two options.
Look at Froggen's items as well. Zonya's Death Cap, Athene's Unholy Grail, Void Staff, Quicksilver Sashlight. He's got so much right now. And really, Alex can't match up to him. We are going to see EG diving into this one. Look at the damage coming down already. Oh. There's a shockwave to lock everyone up as well. Alex is going to die from this one. He's going to throw the Requiem in there, but EG just don't care. Snoopy diving into the backline. There's only 2 men left here now for Gambit. And honestly, EG can win it right now.
And this has been such a one-sided game. That was a phenomenal play by them. And Gambit, they went for that fight, but they weren't able to kill Yellow Pete till the very end.
Well, they don't care about Lee Sin, honestly. We just saw their diamonds at the back, and usually a Lee Sin at the back of you is trouble. Well, they just don't care about him. He can't do anything. EG going to take down that last Nexus 3. They're going to finish up the Nexus and go 1-0 up here against Gambit. 1 game away from the World Championships. 1 game for EG to go there.
Joe, I have to ask, where was this EG yesterday? I mean, Gambit, they kind of played like this yesterday, but EG, it was not even near this level of play out of them.
Well, it's funny because Gambit are the team that